Microsoft scores a major victory, and this is going to be huge for them going forward. Like, I cannot wait to see how this turns out. Like, obviously, so many people are talking about this and amped up about it. I know I am. And when you see stuff like this happen, you say, finally, win one for the good guys. And make no doubt about it, Microsoft are the good guys here. Now, I do love it when Microsoft kind of does this and flaunts what they're doing and really kind of makes Sony look bad. Trust me, it's great when that actually happens, and it happens quite a bit more than people realize, which I think is also pretty great. Let's just be real. Sony think they run things and that they have the right to do all this stuff, and at the end of the day, realistically, that's not the case. Microsoft has just as much right to try and compete as any other company, and I'm kind of sick and tired of people saying otherwise. So yeah, just really kind of just pisses me off as a fan. But hey, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. Like I said, it's all coming down to the ability for Microsoft to get these type of announcements and get people to kind of agree with what they're talking about. So what's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Please hit that like button. I'm looking to get 100 likes. 100 on each of the videos that I do would be tremendous if you guys could do that. Again, would be great. Would be absolutely fantastic. And I know, like, it's a really small goal, but it's a goal that I would just appreciate to no end. So thank you guys very much. And again, this is pretty good stuff to see what's going on. Like I said, Microsoft is making waves, and it looks like the FTC has finally done something that actually helps Microsoft for a change, and they're making PlayStation reveal their third-party exclusivity deals. So they denied Sony's request not to do that. Basically, Sony is out there. Now, you have to imagine, going from an ignorant standpoint, right? Like, pretend you don't know anything about what Sony does in terms of buying content, Hogwarts Legacy, Call of Duty, all that stuff, Final Fantasy games, Forspoken, all this stuff that Sony pays money for to keep off of Xbox, and for exclusive content and rights and guns and unlocks and all this stuff. So going into this, these people wouldn't know anything about that. Sony comes to them complaining, well, if Microsoft owns Call of Duty, they can make it so that it's not content parity. They would be able to give themselves special content that we don't get. That would destroy the PlayStation brand. That's basically what they're saying. Now, when they look at this stuff and these deals, it's going to be easy to see that Sony misled and lied to these people, because Sony pays for this stuff themselves. Right? Sony pays for this stuff themselves. They look like liars and hypocrites. Microsoft served Sony with a subpoena in January as part of its defense building process ahead of the FTC lawsuit regarding its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The subpoena included 45 separate requests for Sony documents, including copies of every third-party licensing agreement Sony has and all drafts of communications regarding Jim Ryan's declarations to the FTC. Sony attempted to quash or limit the subpoena, arguing that a number of requests were either irrelevant to the case or too time-consuming and expensive to carry out. However, in a newly filed order made by the FTC's chief administrative law judge, most of Sony's agreements have been rejected. Most notably among Sony's requests was that in order to produce a copy of every content license agreement it has entered into with the third-party publisher from January 1st, 2012 to present be quashed, a request which was denied. Sony had argued that the information had no apparent value and that compiling the documents would be an unduly burdensome manual review of over 150,000 contract records to find ones which were relevant. Microsoft's argument, which the FTC has agreed with, was that since so much of Activision Blizzard acquisition case revolves around whether gaining access to its IP could result in Xbox exclusive titles that could negatively impact competition, it was important to understand the full extent of Sony's own exclusivity deals and their effect on the industry competitiveness. One request for the FTC did grant, however, Sony was to limit the data range. From now, it's only going to be January 1st, 2019 to the present date. Another Sony request that was denied was a request to not include the files being handled by certain Sony staff members. with Sony arguing that many of them were in Japanese and would therefore be more time-consuming and expensive to search. The FTC rejected this, saying Sony could persuasively explain why searching for and producing these files presents an undue burden. In December, the FTC announced plans to sue Microsoft to stop the acquisition deal, which the regulators argue would enable the company to suppress competitors to its Xbox console, subscription content, and cloud gaming business. Among other concerns, the FTC and Sony have expressed worries that the deal could reduce PlayStation's ability to compete, given that it would see Microsoft gain ownership of the Call of Duty series, which Sony called irreplaceable. In a bid to address regulatory concerns, Microsoft also said it offered Sony the 10-year deal, blah, 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 which is something you guys already know about, and it makes total sense that they would go out there and do that. Again, very smart move by Microsoft. Finally, the FTC is starting to go, okay, well, if, Sony are doing all of this, then why can't we do, this too, I don't understand why Sony thinks it's fair for them to. It doesn't matter how you get the content, right? That's the funny part. Like, it really doesn't matter how you get content. It just matters that you get the content. And so, to me, it always seemed a little bit silly that Sony was able to, do that. And, I think that it's kind of crazy to see that, they're able to kind of get away with this. Like, how in the world are they able to, to kind of get away with that? I honestly do not know. It makes zero sense to me. And, as far as I can tell, as far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous. And I do hope that, things kind of change out of all of this, because clearly it's something that Microsoft has worked on a long time to kind of get this deal to pass for the fans, for gamers everywhere. And, like I said, I think Microsoft is definitely onto the right thing here, and we're going to continue to see them do the right thing to, about all of this. Like, I think that's, exactly what's kind of going on right now. And, again, I think that it's very smart for Microsoft to kind of get these words out and everybody to kind of understand what's happening, because again, we keep seeing all these like so-called negative pieces of news and things like that, and to me that never made sense. It's like people want these things to be negative, and it doesn't really make any sense that it is negative. It's like, oh well, we say that this is negative or whatever, and it's just really unfortunate that so many people are out to, I hate to say it, but it seems like they're out to get Xbox, and that's really unfortunate. So I hope that we can see some kind of change here before too long. But anyway, I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.